Around your house every day. When brushing your teeth, don't let the water run away. Come save the water, preserve the water right now. Every drop cold, save the water. Whenever you take in your shower, every drop cold. Saving the water, your business every hour. The water right now. It's up to me and you and you and you and you. The water right now.
Do just one thing.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this edition of The Waterline. Waterline with me today. I'm looking at this lady. I'm a little peeved with this lady because she roped me into the show, which many of you don't know. You see her smiling right now. When I got to work alongside her, she basically dragged me. She said, "You're going to host Waterline." So I'm here because of Deborah Keynes, billing supervisor. And right next to her, someone that you know quite well, not a snake in the grasses, might be known by your nickname, Cobra, but we have Inspector of Works, yes. Kurt Carty. So very honored to have you with us here today. We're going to start the conversation off by saying this much. I understand that you're leaving.
Yes, I am.
After how many years?
40 years in the ministry.
Wow. And 40 years in the ministry. I was having this conversation with GQ before we went on air, and I was saying there's a level of commitment and dedication that, and he actually brought the point up. He said, you know, the older generation generally has that level of dedication and commitment to their jobs. I don't know if I could work in one place for that long. I don't know how long you were with the department, but I believe that you were there.
Ministry.
The ministry generally for 40 years. And how long were you with the department?
I was with water department for like 27 years, and then I went to public works for another set of years.
So 4 decades in the ministry, obviously. Great service, I can tell you that. You're a very warm person. I know that this guy is going to miss you, but he knows where to find you. I saw a video that suggested the same thing, so he knows where to find you. But as we talk about, you know, your experiences and your position as billing supervisor, there's something that I understand that you want the public to be aware of.
We having this issue with water. I'm asking the public to be very vigilant in terms of turning their pipes off when there is no water in the pipe, because we are seeing a little uptake in floodings and pipes leaving on and running, and that is reflecting on the bills. And some people will come in and say, "But I don't have any water and my bill higher than normal." But if you leave your pipe on, you're going to sleep, the water come back, and it just keep running until you wake up. The meter is going to record all the water that is running. Some people, I've known 1 or 2 persons who got flooded out because they forgot to turn off their pipes, and the water came back, and whatever it is got plugged up, and the whole house got washed out. So I'm asking the consumers to be very vigilant, to check before you go to sleep that all your pipes are turned off.
Definitely so. Kurt and I were having that discussion a little while ago as to how that could happen, particularly when we are experiencing that period of water rationing. I confess that it happened to me very innocently. One morning I got up and there's a bathroom away from where I sleep, and it took me about 2 or 3 hours after the water came back to realize that the pipe was running, because I went to it when there was no water. They were checking for water and then just absent-mindedly forgetting to turn it off. So I suspect that that's something that a lot of people experience as well.
And that will register on the meter.
Well, it's a good thing that the meters are not defective.
Well, on that same note, you know, people have to be really careful and take that precaution in terms of that, because what could happen, you get up out of bed, you go to turn on a light or turn on something, maybe not have on shoes, not realizing that the house is flooded, and you could get electrocuted.
Of course.
In a case like that, so you have to be very, very careful.
Because you might have electrical things on the ground,
something
and
might
they get water.
Just to turn on a switch is in water, and you turn on because it's not grounded, because just with that situation, the water, you could get electrocuted from that.
And that is something that I didn't even consider, so you're scaring me.
Yes.
So I'm going to be very vigilant now.
Yes.
Please do.
I think fear causes a lot of people to act.
Please do.
fair and, let's say, generally consequence? Because you did mention the billing aspect of it. I'm sure you've had to deal with customers who've come in and asked you, why is my bill so high? I mean, we've had that discussion. Is that one of the things that you're seeing more now?
Yeah, we're seeing that.
Okay, and so you actually have to point this out to them then?
Yeah, you have to point
Questioning.
it out to them. Questioning them. You're questioning them because
And that is the same thing. Somebody might be washing a car, doing something, because the distant they be with the hose, they just drop the hose and then they turn the pipe off. So then they see the spike in the bill the same way. So you want to know, how come, but you leave that hose running. And it could have been there running from in the morning when you finish washing the car, you went to work, you're on the grass, you're on the lawn.
And
So you're not really seeing it on the street or something like that. So basically that happened also too.
It's interesting that we're talking about this and that you're my guest today as well, talking about billing, because the minister recently had an interview, I think it was on August 20th, to be some more specific, with Ebony Grandin, and he talked about the tariff regime, the revisiting, as it were, of the billing.
Yes.
Right? Because unfortunately, it's something that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but it's something that we need to talk
it's
about.
something we need to talk about.
And we need to talk about it, obviously, because we're in a period of scarcity.
Right.
We don't have enough water, and sometimes to get people's behavior to match the crisis that we're in, definitely then the pocket is one place that can get everybody to react in a certain way, sadly, but truthfully. So, talking about that regime, there are a lot of us who pay $20, which is the bare minimum for domestic, as you would know. You're visiting that now, revisiting it rather. Is that a popular discussion with customers? Is that a popular discussion in your department? Is that favorable? I mean, you look at it from both sides, because obviously you have a better sense of what needs to be done infrastructurally from the water services end, but also your consumers as well. So where's that balance, if there is one? How do we strike?
I think the general public should be looking deep within that now, because the minister would elaborate on the scarcity of water now, and he would have said that what we have to go into desalination. Desalination is a cost. It's very costly. It's not that, if you drill a well and you pump that water from underground or you get the water from surface, it's cheaper than the desalination. So when we go into desalination, the rates definitely will go up. I don't know how much it will go up to, but I think maybe in the Caribbean now, St. Kitts might have the cheapest rate when it comes to water.
Yes, we are.
The cheapest rate when it comes to water.
Even less than Nevis.
Right. Well, Nevis would have got up maybe about 2-3 months ago. They would have did some increase in terms of
always
water.
Higher than us.
But they was higher than us
Always
before.
higher than us.
So then I want to ask a question and to see if there's any sort of correlation. Perhaps, you can eyeball it and tell me if I'm right. Because we generally don't pay that much for water, you're saying now that we're the cheapest in the region, could that potentially be feeding into our not really looking into developing other sources of water?
No.
No.
But I'll say, because the water is that cheap, that's why people waste it more. And it's a fact. Because it's like, you're paying next to nothing for it. If you know you have to pay more, you're going to tell the children, make sure you turn off this pipe. You're going to make sure this happens, because you're going to feel it in your pocket. So you're going to tell the child or your children, you have to take shorter showers. When you're washing, instead of washing 10 loads, you might have, 3 loads. You might cut down the loads and them kind of things, and that save a lot, But in terms of people will just go because it's cheap. It's like, man, this water is cheap. They could just leave this here. They could just water the grass. They could just water the lawn.
And some people would tell you that, oh, man, I don't pay my bill. I pay once a year because it's cheap.
Well, this is what I don't understand. You triggered me when you said waste water, because I think that in order for you to waste something, you ought to have it in abundance. And right now, generally speaking,
that
we
it's
don't
still not
have
hitting
it's still
home.
not hitting home.
It's still not hitting home
People
to
still
people that
wasting
the water is not
People
there.
still wasting water.
Like, I'll say that now we have a situation, technical situation with one of our wells. And, a lot of people is impacted from that,
Be specific. Tell us where the well is.
So, in the Shadwell area,
Right.
and because of that well pumped that water up to a higher elevation, and then most of the consumers in St. Kitts is gravity fed. So the water go up to a higher elevation, pump it into a tank, and then the feed come back down. Now that same tank, you could say feed the higher areas in Bastille, starting from Beacon Heights, come down to Doors, come down to Shadwell West, Shadwell East, Pine Garden, Taylor's, Wade's Garden, all
Right
those
across.
areas, Shadwell housing, college housing, right across in the highest elevation. So all those people is affected daily because they have what you call low pressure and sometimes to no water. So we put out a schedule daily for some of the areas them that the schedule is from 4 a.m. in the morning till 9 a.m. Sometimes the water would go before that. Depends on how fast the people use it. Sometimes it go 8 o'clock in the morning. It's not that we turning off the water. So I just want the general public to know it's not that we turning off the water. It's because we don't have enough at that time because the demand for the one well that we're using is higher than what we have right now.
Yes. To be specific, again, also in that interview that I said the minister conducted, or rather went to, or was a guest on that show recently, he did say that that well seemingly reduced the water supply to that area by just over 50%, maybe about 60%.
About 60%
So-
or 65%
Maybe
around
more,
there, yes.
yeah.
65%. So obviously you have a dire situation where people are not getting water. They were used to 100%. They were still being rationed.
Right.
You're talking about higher elevations as well. So again, implications there. You have to wait for the lower ones to fill up
Yes.
in order to support the higher ones. So I feel for those people. I mean, honestly, you're working. You understand the mechanics of it. You understand logistics of it. What can you say to those people?
Well,
Be patient with us.
just be patient. It's a technical problem and we trying our best, working day in, day out, trying to get the problem resolved. It will be resolved pretty soon. But in the meantime, what we do for those customers, we truck water to them daily. So the truck go around from 5 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe around till even like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Just go in all those areas and make sure that people have water.
They don't come in mind.
You might miss 1 or 2 persons, right? Because sometimes people might say they get home a little late. If you have a meeting, the truck probably done gone. But even sometimes people will call and will ask the driver. I will ask the driver to go back and assist that person because I know that they need that water. They need that water.
Well, I have to say, Water Services Department generally, and the ministry as well generally, you've upped your communication with the public. You are engaging them regularly, so those schedules that you're talking about, they're accessible to the public.
Yes.
The public knows when you are coming around with the water truck. One of the things that I want you to do for me is to humanize that experience for me, because I know that we're talking a lot of technical stuff. I'm talking trucks, I'm talking water, but I want to talk people. What do you notice when you go around to those people who are without water? How receptive are they? What do they tell you if you have conversations with them?
Well, I will have to get the report from the driver who go, but I get some of that daily. You know, some of the people they don't have nothing to put that water in. They just might have a little pot, a little bottles. So it take very long. The truck take a very long period when you have to go there, and people just have some bottles to fill up. But we have to be patient with them and still make sure that they get that water. So it happens on a daily basis, but that's the only way we could do it.
And that's something that I never even thought of, because I'm hearing the water truck is coming around. I'm sure a lot of the people listening right now and watching think the same thing. Water truck is coming around. You know that you're in a period of water shortage, so you've got big buckets around and so on. But to your point, I'm thinking about, the elderly grandmother who could barely get outside. I'm
Right.
thinking about people who can't really walk around and don't have those resources. You do have to exercise patience with them, and I'm glad to hear that you are doing that. As we continue, the phone lines are open. Please do not let Miss Keynes leave before you tell her, congratulations for serving for 40 years, because this is, again, a milestone, and I'm honored to have met you, and even at the end of it, you're smiling, so I love that. I love the way that you're approaching this thing. In terms of engaging with the public, that's something that you do. Obviously, you do a little less of it, but still, when you're on the road, they approach you. Let's talk about that. The highlights from the last 40 years for you. If you could think of, let's say, I don't want to pressure you too much, but perhaps 1 or 2 moments that those memories you take with you working as you are a building supervisor, of course, what would they be? Highlights of your job.
COVID. I remember COVID. And everybody had to be off the street. Sometimes I call Kurt. I say, Kurt, come pick me up. I need to go in the office. We need to get the bills them sorted out so that people could pay the bills. even though it was COVID, because we didn't want the bills to back up. And then when we come out, we have to send, bills from behind. So, like for like 2 weeks straight, you go in the office. Man, they ghost them in there.
Here we have a few around in government buildings, so I've heard.
Believe me, we do. And we had, it was good times. I've had good times. I remember when I started to work for water department, we didn't have water bills going out. That's when water bills started to go out in 1985. That's when we started sending bills to people. At the time, water used to be $10.68 every 3 months.
Well, we've gone a long way from there.
Yes. Yes. And the bills were written by hand.
And wow, this is interesting. So you have all of those experiences that you're taking with you. So you've actually seen the, let's say, modernization of that department.
We went from handwritten to partial computer to computer.
I don't want to ask you, well, I actually want to ask you, in terms of the way that you worked then and you work now, is there a preference? I understand for efficiency reasons computer is better, but is there something about the old ways that you worked that you think you favor?
Just more hands-on.
So you connected more.
Definitely.
It was more hands-on. Like that?
Yeah.
It was more
You did
hands-on.
some of that too?
No.
Not really.
No. I came. No, I long, long too. Maybe when my time to leave, I'll say, like as Debbie say, her years. But I'm around long.
Did I have a call?
Oh, we do have a caller. Okay, good morning. Caller, you are live. Go ahead, please.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I am calling to find out, I don't know if it was mentioned before, but I'm calling to find out what is the status for the water problem indoors. It's 12 days straight and counting, and I'm just trying to find out if there are any updates.
All right, thank you very much. We actually spoke about it, but I'll let Mr. Carty revisit what he said earlier. Thank you, caller.
Thanks.
I'll repeat, as we speak, we having some technical problems with one of our pumps that pump that water up to the Beacon Heights area, we have 2 pumps that pump the water up there. The bigger one, as we speak now, we have some technical problems with it. So we work in day out to get that problem rectified. I think it will be rectified pretty soon. So as we speak, we have we put that area on a rationing code, which is really lower than it even was before. We used to ration that area just at night times. Now we ration those areas in the morning. The doors area is more affected than any one of the other areas because that doors area feed directly from Beacon Heights tanks. We cannot pump the water to Beacon Heights tank at the time. But hopefully before the week finish, they should be able to get some water. Our school starting on a Monday. We want to make sure everybody have water Monday morning when they wake up. Can't assure you that we'll have it all the time, but we want to make sure when you open that tap Monday morning, you will have water running in all those areas. So we're doing what we can do in the meantime. Then at afternoons for that caller, we make sure we send the trucks out every afternoon at 5 till around maybe 9-10 o'clock at nights to make sure everybody have water and get water from that truck. Feel free to contact. You could contact me if you not seeing the truck at 766-4164. That's my direct number. You could call me at any time to let me know, and I'll make sure that the truck get back by you and get you that water. I'll hope that you have something to put that water in when the truck comes.
Well, definitely so.
So we'll do whatever it takes to assist the public there.
I have to say that I must commend that caller because I love the way that she expressed herself. And obviously 12 days without water is no easy feat, but she was not hostile.
Right.
She asked her question. She got the answer, hopefully, that she was looking for, which is that restoration should take place hopefully very soon. And I appreciate the approach that she took. And I mean, that's what I like to see, the engagement. Because when people understand that on your side of things, you're working as well, as hard as you can, as best as you can, I think that mutual understanding goes a long way to ensuring that the relationship that you have with your customers is maintained. And I really do appreciate that. And that's something that you know a lot about this game.
Right.
Definitely. All right. So as we continue, you were saying, of course, that you had some very interesting moments. I know that you're going to miss. I'm not going to ask you when you're going to leave because I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you right now. I said you lured me here, and I was having so much fun. This is only the second time I think I've been on air with you.
Yeah.
And then you've brought sad news that you're going to be leaving soon. So I don't know what to do now. I'm gonna let Cobra host the show.
Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll do just fine.
All right. So, in terms of the takeaway, because we have a few moments left, so I do want to know. Give you a moment to speak to your colleagues. What do you want them to know? What message do you want to leave them with after 4 decades of working with the ministry?
Well, it was nice working. The experience was good. I enjoyed working. I enjoy my customers. I enjoy my co-workers. I enjoy my job. I love my job. And I'm going to miss it, but it comes a time in life when you have to move on.
Definitely so.
Definitely.
Sounds like you're looking forward to that, I don't know.
No, not at all. Me and Debbie go from way back. Way back. As a matter of fact, sometime after work, we used to go, me and another couple guys would go by her house and we'll go and we'll hang out, we'll have a couple of drinks, we'll have fun, and this is years, so somebody, and we always have that relationship. It never go away. Always have the same relationship.
I tend to think that I get along with everybody.
I can see that.
I try my best to get along with everybody, irregardless.
I think that smile disarms them, honestly. I think that's what it is.
So, I don't think I'm leaving any bad feelings behind or bad taste in anybody's mouth. I hope not. But
well, I can tell you this. I do believe that your customers are going to miss you, the people who interact with you, not only your colleagues, but your customers, because there's a warmth that you exude, and obviously, you brought it to the space when you arrived there every day. Even during COVID, I just heard.
Yeah.
So, you made the ghosts feel happy.
With customers always have that particular person who they think that they could rely on. They think they could reach out and they will get that job done. So Debbie have a lot of customers who want to come to the office and come directly to her. Even if she's not in that field, they prefer to go to Debbie and then let Debbie get on to whoever, because talking to her, they will say, well, they're going to get the job done if they talk to their friend. This is somebody that they feel comfortable talking to. So that's just how it is.
Well, that's a legacy to leave. And I do want to say it has been my pleasure getting to know you as briefly as it has been. I look forward to seeing you on the street. Please don't leave this guy hanging. He's going to surprise you. Again.
He knows where to find me.
I know that for sure. So any final words before we go?
I'll go first. Basically,
Sorry, Cobra. Before you make your outro, someone asked online, why is it so difficult to pay water bills online? They're trying and they're coming across. They live in the United States. Live in New York City.
Okay. They can try and call the office, and somebody in the IT department will be able to direct them, walk them through how to pay the bill online.
If there's any serious.
And on that note, there's actually a tutorial that's being worked on. It's been in the pipeline for a little bit, so hopefully to that person they'll get that information as well, or other people who are wondering how they can pay online as well. When that gets out, we'll talk about it here and we'll orient them to that.
Okay, that's good. That is good.
All right, so any other words?
Yes, like as I said, because of Debbie, and as she mentioned it to the public now, the general public, the whole world here, saying that she leaving soon, so I will leave her. Let's say ladies first, but I will make sure she go last today because of that, so she could wrap up and tell the customers them and everybody, you know, what she want to tell them. So yeah, as I was saying earlier now, that we in a dire moment right now, still drought season, and I tell people we get our water today as we speak from one place, rainfall. Whether you're getting it from underground or surface water, is rainfall. And if you're not getting rain, you're not getting water. In terms of to get those tanks or the aquifer replenished. So this is you're pumping out 1 million gallons a day, but none going back in. And somebody there, you know, would just be wasting it, trying it on some grass, some dirt. I like to tell people, water some food, because you still have to eat, you know. So I would prefer to see that than see you throwing it somewhere where it's not necessary.
Absolutely.
Use a bucket to wash your cars instead of a hose, and you just drop it and leaving it like that, you know. Really conserve when it comes to this is very, very important.
That is a keyword, and I do hate to cut you off here, but we
Well, I hate to cut you too, but seeing that it's Debbie moment.
Yes.
we have a caller online for you, Debbie. Good morning, your life. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning, Debbie.
Good morning.
It's Donald from the quarry. You used to be in the quarry.
Oh, Donald, how are you?
Why are you here, Master Brother? I just called to wish you all the best, man.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, good luck.
All right. Thank you. That's one of my co-workers when I work in the quarry. Because I work in the quarry, I work at roads.
You worked all over the ministry. Just say that. You worked all over the ministry.
Yes.
So you know it inside and out.
So I just want to say that it was good. It was good working. And I appreciate everybody that I work with. And I thank all my bosses, all my ministers, all my PSCs over the years. And I'm happy to leave on a high note.
And we're happy that you are here with us today to express yourself the way that you just did. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of The Waterline. Kirk Carty, Deborah Haynes. I'm Jamie Morris saying goodbye until next time.
Okay.